One thing I'll say is a lot of modern progressive films, they seem to have either lost the ability or I would argue the will to make good films because they have to be so over the top with their rhetoric and their values that their films come off like Christian films from the 90s. It's just so obnoxious,
Yeah.
and as a Roman Catholic who cares a lot about his faith, almost every time I saw a Christian film, I would think, this is horrible. And at best, like, this is like all right for a Christian film, which is kind of like saying, this is all right, like for the genre of film they show in your driver's ed class to teach you the rules of the road. Like, it's not entertaining, but maybe it's a little bit better than the other ones you might have encountered in that genre. And I think it's becoming more and more of a problem. One of my beliefs about art is that if art is good, it's because there is some kind of truth that's in it, regardless of the intent of the creator. I think sometimes what happens is people who would purport to have very bad values, something in their core is still capable of recognizing a certain truth, or maybe they just stumble onto it while creating their work of art, whether that's a painting or a sculpture or a film or a novel. And they'll have elements in the work of art which try to promote one worldview, but the work itself actually promotes something very good and wholesome and timeless.
I think you see that a lot with the rom-coms, which can be bawdy and outrageous and often R-rated. But at the end of the day, it's boy meets girl. It's monogamy. It's celebrating that connection. The 40-Year-Old Virgin's one of my favorite comedies, and it's about a guy who hasn't had sex in 40 years. Duh, spoiler alert. And then what does he do? He meets a girl. He does fall in love with her, and you think that the first thing he wants to do is remove his virgin label. But no, he actually waits for his wedding night. It's a beautiful, I guess you could say, conservative or traditional message within this movie, which is bawdy and outrageous and crazy and R-rated and full of shtick that you would not think is conservative or traditional or even spiritual anyway. So I think you're right. I think the truth does matter.